bitch.
Damn. You want that song to be playing?
I got it.
I have it.
She got it. Okay, both of y'all got it. That ain't in my. I was about to play Kevin Gates.
What's Kevin Gates?
Oh my God. Okay,
I
I'm
don't
glad.
know. I didn't know it either.
It's so good though. Okay. Well, he just got released out of prison, so that's why I wanted to pay homage. But
Didn't he like kick a girl in the face for good?
Yeah, don't play that shit. Not when I'm here.
I like Kevin Gates. So I guess go ahead because
Oh
y'all.
wait, can I play my favorite?
Yeah.
You can play
This
a song,
is my,
sure.
like-
We never have our guests pick the songs.
Oh, I have a good one.
Unless
play it.
Made the
Hold on,
song.
let me find it. Let me find it.
I am dead.
Hold on, because it's a throwback. No bitches, no me.
Can we leave this in?
Wait
all
a
in.
minute, hold. Oh shit, you ain't never heard. You
All
ain't
right,
never
go ahead.
heard this
Play,
shit.
play it by the mic. Let's see. This, you an old hoe. This a,
Just
I
listen.
do know this
Just
song. Marvin C. This my mama
Bitch.
shit.
Oh,
the
your mama.
that your
I can't
lover
believe she just said.
never did before. Come on. Come on. Come on. Your candy liquor girl.
All right.
Get it? Candy liquor.
A boss ass bitch.
Your mama something like that.
Your candy liquor girl.
Okay.
Wait for it. This is my favorite part.
We don't need to wait.
Ooh.
Michelle,
Hold
I
on.
hope.
Turn around, baby, and I lick you all around. Like your lover should. Oh, baby.
Okay. All right.
Michelle just looked at the
Alright.
camera, and I was like, bitch, this is not a scene we're starting.
Weezy
It is when I'm in the house.
Weezy is like, what kind of? It's okay. I
It
told
is
you I'm
some
gonna
old
work
people
on
stuff.
getting you cultured. That's some
Girl.
actually old black soul shit,
We
right
need
Well,
to
we
there.
know your white mama knows.
You
Weezy,
don't.
you need to upgrade your
That's-
black card
My black card just goes like Luther Vandross. That's my mom.
from a gold member to a platinum member.
Hi guys, welcome to yet another episode. It's Horrible Decisions. If you don't already motherfucking know, I mean y'all tuned in or whatever. This is the show where we talk about kinks, we talk about the dirty shit, we talk about the things that make you feel uncomfortable. In an more comfortable way, I guess.
No, they're not a comfortable
No,
way.
it's not. None of it's a comfortable way.
Definitely
Okay.
not.
This is your girl Mandy B, and I'm sitting next to
Wheezy.
and
Hi.
across from us. Well, next to me, across from Wheezy, we have sexpert Michelle
Yes.
Hope.
Are you holding that mic like a dick?
This
as you
actually
should.
last night it was like this because he wanted both hands at one point. So yeah, I
Show
kinda
me
did
where the
that.
base of 24/7's dick is. I'd like
Hey.
to.
The base,
Yeah.
his dick is probably this entire thing.
Ooh, I
no
love
lie,
it. I
no
love
lie,
it.
because I can go like this and then the head. Still, I have to go up and down on the head.
Hey.
Like it's pretty fucking big.
That's-
Anyways, let's not talk about dick. We're gonna introduce our guest.
Hey, let's not talk about dick.
Okay, wait. Dick
They're
talk.
like, well, let's turn it off now.
Dick
Right.
talk.
What the
I was
fuck is
listening
she
to my
here
bro.
for?
Okay, you're right.
Yep.
So I guess I'm trying to decipher here if we're gonna get into introducing you or if we're gonna get your read first. Do you want to do the read first? She has a
Read a bitch.
Okay, so
Okay.
guys, normally
Spill
we
the tea.
normally we don't read y'all hoes. I mean,
But-
we actually did.
And this is a shout out to one of our favorite podcasts, The Read.
Okay.
We
gotta read
We
this
never
week.
name names. We never really go off on anybody. And Mandy replied to this girl, and she is very lucky. I'm not going to say her name, but I'm just going to try to. All right, I'm so irritated because I just fucking remembered about this. So this girl writes in on a picture of Lisa Spliffson who came, and if you guys got to hear that episode, she's a fin dom who Michelle Hope describes very radical. She's got a lot of opinions. She used the word white supremacy a lot. And had a lot of anger. She's been violated in a lot of ways. So she told her story. Anyway, here's the comment that...
Please don't. Are you gonna read it all? Okay,
I'm
it's
a-
pretty bad, guys.
it's
So-
bad.
okay, so listen to
and
it,
this bitch tried it.
and then y'all can come up with your own opinion.
Oh, I would
think
love
that,
y'all to
I
write
think
and-
that Wheezy is overreacting.
I
I
think I'm overreacting.
I responded in a fine way. Like
You responded the way that you should have,
She's-
nicely. And
so now I'm
not
PC?
overreacting.
So now I'm PC.
No, you did what you should have done. We should be taking... Look, listen. This is
Okay,
what she
listen
said.
to the comment, y'all.
I will tell you if
This
Go ahead.
episode...
Listen to the comment.
Thank you. Can I get my black card back? Because Mandy about to fucking lose her talking about I'm overreacting. Bitch, listen to this.
Okay.
This
about to get your
episode...
nipple card back with that fucking top.
Oh, well, I don't know.
I ain't mad at you.
Coming out.
All
Let
right.
them show,
Can
let
we
them
please not have my
glow.
tit- All right. It's very hot in here, which is why my tits are out. I had a sweatshirt on. All right.
All right, read it.
This episode made me sick to my stomach. Forget the ignorance and prejudice that was pouring out of it as a, all caps, white child sexual harassment victim. I'm telling you this. Take your explanation of child abuse with white supremacy, wrap it in a gift paper. That didn't make sense. And put it on the shelf. Never open again. I don't think you realize you're denying women to their own experience. Women of all colors, body shamed by men of all colors. The oppression of women stems largely, which she's right on this, from men's desire for power and control. The same need which throughout history has driven men to try to conquer and subjugate other groups, nations, and oppress other classes and groups in their own society drives them to dominate and oppress women. Since men feel the need to gain as much power and control as they can steal away power and control from women. They deny women the right to make decisions so that they can make it for them, leave women unable to direct their own lives so that they can do it for them.
This is really long, guys. This is why she
was
reading
right
this fast.
on that part.
And
Since biological
this is the part
processes,
that pissed you off, right?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Since biological processes like sex, menstruation, breastfeeding, and even pregnancy were discussing, women felt themselves disgusted too, and that brings me to the sexual power. That brings them to the sexual power women have over men. Men resent that feeling. It's a sign of weakness, and women are to blame as they're the one to produce it. And that means men can't complete the domination over women. They may be able to force women to cover their bodies and faces like slaves, but any woman that's capable of arousing powerful and uncontrollable sexual impulses inside them at any moment. I got your call. I got that you call your podcast a black podcast, but you are so exclusive. It hurts me on a socioeconomic level. Mandy replied to her and said, everyone has their own experiences. We've had many different people on the show. Sorry if Lisa's experience is different from your own. Perhaps we'll have someone on the show that shares your views. I just want to tell you something. I read it and I got irritated and I thought about the word socioeconomic and how has this impacted your money or your job or your livelihood? Because let's take it for a second. You love to capitalize that you were white. So on a socioeconomic level, how the fuck did you get offended economically? I mean, really, when black podcasts are the minority, black people are the minority, well, what the fuck are you? How are you really affected by hearing a black girl tell her fucking struggle? And then here you are with these white fucking tears about how you're left out. How the fuck did Lisa feel her whole fucking life, or every fucking black girl that goes through shit, even especially if it's with a white man, and someone saying, oh, hey, you know, it's okay, get over it, but now we got to cater to your motherfucking white ass on our black ass podcast because God forbid we have some black bitch on here talking shit about somebody that looks like your daddy. No, the fuck you didn't. And if it's such a problem, you should have never, ever followed our black asses, half black asses, whatever the fuck you want to say. You shouldn't have even indulged. To even bring it up. You sound dumb. I know it's a black podcast, but I'm hurt. Bitch, shut the fuck up. Do you know how many black girls have been hurt? Do you know how many black girls were feeling Lisa? Not to mention how I was embarrassed that we had black men on here talking about Spanish women and how they're better. Do you know how many black girls were hurting? And where the fuck were you? You weren't offended because your hair is good too. Fuck you. Matter of fact, Monica, Marika, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Most of the girls that are findoms are white. Do you know how many black ones are there? Not a fucking lot. Not a fucking lot. She's fetishized for being black, being big, being whatever, and here you are being hurt on a socioeconomic level. What does that even fucking mean? Did this podcast really take you away from work for the day because you were so fucked up? Anything that you listen to is catered towards you, is catered to your demographic. And one fucking black girl, I swear to God, like, it almost blows me.
She was this mad. Yeah.
This is a podcast for people of color.
Michelle is looking like,
and if I left out a few white girls,
into?
I'm sorry, because I feel like we've always, like, we ride for any fucking woman. But here you are having to tear this bitch, us, a new asshole, for having the nerve to bring another black bitch on our black ass podcast. Bitch, you gonna have to go. And if it fucking sacrifices me to have a shitty
throw the whole
review,
listener away. That's what she said.
I don't
throw
care.
the whole listener away. We just don't.
Because you know what? I told Mandy when I started this show that I didn't want it to be a black podcast because I wanted it to be inclusive
of everyone.
But fuck it. If that's what we had to do, that's what we had to do. Because if you can't sit and listen to a black girl tell her feelings, then bitch, you gotta go.
You gotta throw the whole person away.
Fuck it. Leave your 1-star review. Suck my dick. You can kiss my ass. I don't even know Lisa. I never spoke to her again. But I can tell you this. I get it. And bitch, a lot of other white people that listen to it got it. And no one sat there and said, oh my God, she's talking so much shit about white people. I can't stand this. And I'm so offended. Bitch, maybe she was offended when you sat there and said you were hurt on a socioeconomic level. Bitch, how the fuck did it affect you?
Ooh. I know you are so happy you got that shit out.
I was.
Whew.
And that's all I had to say.
And that was the read for today. Shout out to Crystal and Kid Fury. This was her read, and I think that they would approve of this message, actually.
Because I meant it. And mind you, this is coming from someone with a white-ass daddy that fucks white men, works with white people, has friends that are white. I'm offended on a socioeconomic fucking level, bitch. You took me out my goddamn job. I might lose money from our show on an economic level from talking shit
That's
like this.
going to come out of her 50%
But you
portion.
had all the fucking nerve to do that shit on our goddamn Instagram. And you're lucky, bitch, that Mandy wrote your ass back.
Right. That's why I'm not
You're
taking that
lucky.
loss out of my money. No, I'm just...
Anyway, I'm done.
Anyways, guys, if this is your first time listening, I promise this doesn't happen often. She's just really angry about a comment that we received from one of our listeners, and I think it's good that we express this. We show you guys so much love, and we appreciate all the love that you guys have given us. However, even on the last episode, we just talked about how people just be judging us. And
but
so
fuck that.
this was definitely one of the comments that we got back that, got a reaction.
Do you guys have anything to say about that? Do you think I'm still overreacting?
I think, you said your points. I didn't feel that emotionally connected. But before, we're not going to introduce her, I guess. Our guest, Michelle Hope, has something to say about that. And
it's warm in here. And I think that what we need to remember is that there is a long history of white feminists who are very racist. Long history.
Fair.
And I think that what I'm hearing, I don't know who this person is. I just walked into this mess. I do love Lisa. I met her at Afropunk one year. I thought she was the baddest bitch ever. With her nipples out and
she's
big ass
so
titties.
bad.
Don't get me wrong,
Like,
she goes hard.
she goes so hard, but for a reason.
But we ride for women, people, period, man.
That go hard.
unless you're an Instagram model, but we're not going to get into that.
But I will
Okay,
say
them too,
this.
if they went through problems.
Well,
Like,
yeah, I mean, we all go through problems, but I do believe, my mom is white, and she is a feminist, and she is a lesbian, and she has been in the fight for a long time. Before I was even here, she was a part of the movement. But even I have had to have come to Jesus moments with my mama. Like,
yeah.
Pause, mama. You a white woman. Like,
Right. You're
you
not
don't
gonna
walk
understand
down the
everything.
street with people looking at you like, what are you? Or you don't walk into a store and people follow you around for the same time for reasons like, oh, you might rob us. And it was interesting when my mother and I love my mother, and when my mother and I had that come to Jesus moment, it was hard for her to hear, from her grown child. But then, she left New York. She came to visit me from Indiana. She came to visit me and she left. And she went home, she processed, and she was like, wow, you're right.
Right.
She was like, and when
It's
I
a
was
different
growing,
experience.
it's totally a different experience. And when I say my mother has always been a part of the movement, my mom has sat on boards that really fought for women's equity. And she, when I was growing up, was on a board of a women's arts and music festival that happened in Indiana. I always call it like Lilith Fair before there was Lilith. And when she was a part of that, after we had this kind of come to Jesus moment, and then she thought about it, we had a conversation, and she was like, Michelle, at that time when you were little, because I would go to these festivals because they had kids camp, and it was super weird because it was like astro travel and like dream catcher type vision boarding shit before that was possible.
Right, some shit she would like.
Yeah. And she said, the black women always said they needed their own kind of section in the space, and we would give them pushback. Like, why? We're all fighting the same fight. And after we had that come to Jesus moment, she was like, Michelle, you taught me that I was being discriminatory. We should have
That's awesome.
created that own space.
Hopefully she even understands where Weezy's frustration came from. Instead of hearing, the anger in Weezy's voice, she actually sits back and realizes that she's not sitting here shaming her or anything like that.
But
really you
hurt
have to understand that there's
the
a
way
different.
that she felt like Lisa singled, people out or whatever. Like, she singled herself out to say, "I'm white and you did this to me."
I'm white, right?
Dude, people are gonna have so many different experiences. Women that go through so many traumatic experiences with different men. You have to appreciate each person's story.
For sure.
Listen, don't get me wrong. There's things I've heard that I'm like, damn, that's too much on different podcasts and stuff like that. But you can't shit on that person for it. And this is exactly why I don't want to do sexual harassment episodes sometimes, because you never know someone's journey. And we didn't know Lisa would go there, and I'm grateful that she did. Because
How did you not know Lisa was going to go there? I mean,
I thought Lisa was
She
going to
knew.
talk about some Findom
oh
shit. I
hell
did not.
no, hell no,
No,
because
she-
a
I
part
didn't
of
write her.
Lisa's I think
Dominance.
is stemming from her experience, and I'm all
Yes.
for that. But you know, I'm just saying, and I love Lisa.
So okay, we love Lisa, but Lisa, she not here right now. So
I am, though.
Michelle, who is you? What do you do? How
goodness.
you know? Tell our listeners who you are before we get into this motherfucking thing.
Okay, so my name is Michelle Hope. You guys can follow me or find me as MH Sexpert. By day, I'm a sex ed teacher. I
Yes.
work in a education space, very like I don't know, kind of button up. I'm still radical in the classroom, but it's much more tame than what I do at night. In this space,
So
right?
right here with us.
Yes.
Okay.
And I appreciate having that versatility. I might not be as radical or as outspoken as some of your other guests, but that doesn't mean that I'm not as radical and or don't share the views. I just choose to hone my message in a way that can reach a broader audience, because I believe that the way we transform sexual oppression and sexual inequity in spaces is through education.
Great.
Okay, and what did you go to school to get that?
So I have a master's degree in human development with an emphasis on adult learning theory. I had started in marriage family therapy with an emphasis in Black family studies, then fell in love and moved to New York and switched my major.
Got it.
And I also realized while I was going through my program that, you know, people of color don't really go to therapy. Right?
Right.
So I need to dispense this information in a relatable way to the community I care about and the community that needs it most. So I moved towards human development with kind of an emphasis in education because I need to help people unlearn to relearn. I teach sexuality across the lifespan. So oftentimes when people are like, oh, you're a sex ed teacher, they think dick and pussy.
All the time.
And it's like, that is the, yes,
can
I
you,
can do
you
all
teach
that.
me how to suck dick?
Yeah,
I think I had a teacher say, "What are all the names you could think of for penis?" I was like, "Ooh, this is
I've
fun."
done that exercise.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, can we do it real quick? Actually, I've never done that.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So, the exercise, guys, and I want you guys to think in your mind how many you can list.
How many since you've
What's
done
the
this?
average number of names that people normally?
I
come
mean,
up
it depends on the class. Like, I mean, these young people, youth, are extremely creative, and they come up with like, you know, in my classes, I do really interesting things like condom clapbacks. So if somebody doesn't want to use a condom,
I
what's
love
your
that.
clapback to them?
Yeah.
One of my most favorites was a young man in one of my classes said, if a girl tells me she doesn't want to use a condom because it makes her pussy itch, his clapback was, better you itching than me, so we gonna use this condom.
I love that one.
So I guess we'll do it a circle. So this is
Yeah.
a game that I normally play with the alphabet and sex. So sex categories through the alphabet, you have to go in a
Oh,
circle, and
I like
whoever
that.
stops gets kicked out.
Okay, so how do we do this?
we'll-
Because we can't do it with Michelle.
No. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
can?
So
Yeah, we can
names of penises.
So different names of a penis. You start, then I go, then you go, then you go, until one of us stops.
Okay.
Okay.
Schlong.
BBC.
Oh my God, dude.
That's a good one.
Johnson.
Dick.
Penis.
Pecker.
Lollipop.
Pickle.
Magic stick.
Pee-pee.
Damn, y'all ain't getting me out first. Damn, am I out? Am I out? Schlong.
She said that.
I
first.
said, oh
You
fuck.
said that. I
Oh,
didn't even
said
say that.
Wiener.
God damn. Okay, wiener. Okay, y'all go now, back and forth till y'all can't name anymore.
Stick.
Wee.
Yes. You want that stick?
Wait,
Dang-a-lang.
no, like
Dang-a-lang.
Oh, dang-a-lang. I ain't think of dang-a-lang.
binga.
So now
Is
you
that a Spanish word? Bitch,
look,
it's
I
got to be in English.
I'm done. We done.
I'm trying to become very cultured, and I feel like, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
It's
Sausage.
hot dog.
Oh, now we going
You
through the food.
cheating.
Eggplant, banana.
Right.
Okay.
All right,
Well,
fine.
we get the picture.
Obviously, the
I
sexpert wins.
I think that's clearly she
Yeah.
wins. I think that's super cute, and I know what else you focus too on adolescents. And,
Absolutely.
So how is that? Because we've talked on the show previously, especially even with Ella Dawson, who came on. She does TED Talks about herpes and different STDs and STIs, and I know that in my
the
school,
koala?
what is
Ella does the koala thing? No? Okay.
I
keep
don't-
going.
Maybe she does or doesn't. I'm not
maybe
sure.
yeah, I'm not sure.
She was
But
just a
she- yeah,
girl
she
that
was
was
just-
diagnosed with herpes.
She was
that was
diagnosed
educating
with
people.
herpes and educating
With
people.
a koala. 'Cause
Oh,
that's
maybe.
the story, I think. But I might be wrong. Go ahead.
Okay,
Like
but
an animal?
Yes.
No. She said
No.
a guy gave it to her. But bitch,
Okay.
if we had someone that fucked a
Keep
koala.
going.
I hope she didn't fuck a
No,
koala.
I feel like
a
she
koala
tells
bear.
She tells her story through the story of a koala.
Oh, she might.
Where do koalas are? The koalas
That's
Yeah,
like
she's
the
saying like
story. Like instead of like her like disclosing, although she is honest about it. Only reason I know is because she hit me on Instagram about it.
Okay, possibly.
And it's something about the koala something.
That could have been. So, what is your focus in these classes with teaching people sex education? What's something that you feel like we're miseducated about?
I mean, a lot of us are miseducated because they're not able to get the information. I think that what's important is I am an advocate for federally mandated sex ed K through 12. Now, that doesn't mean you're teaching kindergartners about penises. It's age appropriate sex ed. So in my perfect world, we would start like in Europe where they start sex ed very young, and in like kindergarten, first grade, second grade, you start talking about your anatomy. These are your breasts. These are your penis. This is your penis. This is your vagina. This is your butthole. And the reason that we should be doing that, it sounds funny, or anus, but it sounds
anus, okay.
funny. But the reason we need to use medically accurate terms and not these things like poon poon and pocketbook and wee wee is because would you call your nose something other than your nose?
Right.
Would you call your elbow something other than your elbow? And as we think about our lives as parents, right? And we're in this really fast-paced life, we're on our cell phones, we're doing this. If your child comes home and says, someone tried to touch my lollipop, you're not going to think nothing of it. But if your child comes home and says, someone tried to touch my penis, all fucking alarms are going off in your head.
Right.
And I think that if we start teaching very young children what their body parts are, we can help minimize sexual exploitation of young children. Additionally, I encourage parents, because I've taught parenting classes, that you should start teaching body autonomy before your child can speak. So if you have a baby and you're changing a diaper, even though the child does not speak, you need to say things like, mommy needs to wipe your bottom now. Mommy's going to change your diaper now. Because you're inputting into their brain that their body is their body, which when they get to one of my high school classes, it's a lot easier for me to explain, no, your boyfriend or your girlfriend cannot tell you what to do with your body because that is your body. And that is body autonomy. And oftentimes I hear some parents say, oh, I'll teach them when they're ready. When is ready when you think about the music we have on Cellular Radio? You know,
Right.
like,
Sorry, we're so quiet. We're just like,
yeah,
right.
Like when you think about what was that song with Juicy J and Usher? I don't mind if something about.
but that's talking about strippers.
so.
Shawty, I
But that's
don't
on the radio all
What
the
did it
time.
say?
mind if you dance like a girl.
Oh yeah.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Make you a hoe. Don't
Yeah.
make that money.
So-
Money. Ooh, we
So
just
what
ruined them lyrics,
happens-
by the way. Sorry,
Totally,
Tehran. Sorry,
totally.
Tehran. Shout out Rock City who wrote the
Right.
song.
So, but the problem is when you have a 4-year-old in ballet classes and is hearing a song about dance, you have to understand word association is deep.
girl, come on, get deep with us.
Like you hear a song
on
and
a
there was,
socioeconomic level.
hello. So you know, I read. I mean, this was a couple years ago. There was an incredible mom who wrote an open letter to like Usher. Like my daughter in the car asked me if she was going to be that kind of dancer, and she's 4. I don't mind if you dance on a pole.
That'll make
you a hoe, right?
shawty.
So this little girl is 4 years old and
yeah.
she's going to
But do
dance
you think
classes.
that, like-
my sister, her favorite song at 6 was My Neck, My
My
Back.
Bag.
You
Lick
seen that
my
little girl
pussy
that be
and
like
my
that?
crack.
Well, my
Little
favorite
Asian
song,
girl?
hold on, and I might date myself on this, but my favorite song was When I Think of You, I Touch Myself.
I love that.
That shows you how
just
white we are.
You just aged yourself
That-
because I don't
and
know
how
what the
white we
fucking
are.
song that is.
You've
Yeah.
never heard When I Think About I Touch Myself.
Sounds like some Paula Dean shit.
It's
Not
super
Paula.
white.
Dean.
Paula.
So white.
That's
What's
chicken.
the other Paula?
Not Paula Dean, girl.
What's the Paula
I
bitch
touch
from American
myself.
Idol? Paula. Paula something.
All right, so when it comes to sex education, I'm sorry, let me go back. So when it comes to sex education, as of March 1st in 2016, 24 states in the District of Columbia required public schools to teach sex ed.
Yes,
24
that's
states.
Okay, but here's the
That
problem.
doesn't sound like a lot.
It's not when you think we have 50 states.
Right.
At 33 states in the District of Columbia require students to receive instruction and information about HIV, 20 require that if
Oh,
provided,
wow. These are
sex
low.
and or HIV must be medically and factually and technically accurate. So when you think about
Oh, 'cause girl, we
50
fucked some of that
states-
shit up. On
wait, hold on. There's 50 states, but only 20 states require
But
medically
why?
accurate
That's crazy.
sex ed. Because oftentimes they leave it up to school districts to decide.
Okay.
All right. And then you have states like Texas where it's abstinence only. And I
now,
mean,
what is medically accurate versus like another way? Like, what's another way?
I have seen.
Because I'm sure they won't say something fake.
No,
but
they
like,
do. I have seen sex ed
Right.
textbooks that put picture. So they had photographs of what a boy and a girl look like, and the boy was in a football uniform and the girl was in a cheerleader uniform. Does that describe every girl? Does that describe every boy?
Right.
There is very limited education that would gear information towards our LGBTQ youth.
It's funny. And so we talked about this, and this is specifically why I led us into this question. So instead of like the icebreaker, she just has so much information. I wanted to bring this up, especially for our listeners, especially for us.
Right.
So I came across an article actually that Ella retweeted on Twitter, and it says that sex education for lesbian and bisexual girls doesn't give them the information that they need, and it has a major impact on their health. So it actually, in the article, it says that a lot of that there's been a spike in the amount of STDs and STIs that have been contributed from girl-on-girl action, and a lot of that is due to the lack of education
Right.
that we receive on same-sex sex.
Yeah.
And so I know that you and I both deal with girls, and so it just talks about
You,
how
I, and me.
all three of us deal with girls. We be licking
I
that
think
pussy
everybody
and
in the
shit.
room.
We be licking that pussy and
Potty,
shit.
potty.
But it actually says, and I think when I read the article, I had to go back because you don't really think of how to protect yourself from another
don't
girl.
get me wrong. Like, of course,
You
we all
know?
know about dental dam, but
Who has ever used a dental dam? Any of us?
has Michelle?
What is that?
I feel like you might have. 'Cause
What is that?
A dental dam is a thin latex sheath. It's like a square. I did not bring one tonight. I apologize.
Okay.
It's a thin latex sheath that you would put over the anus or the vulva before actually.
Oh, I thought you put it on your mouth.
Oh, so-
no, you put it on. You
so
like
you're licking-
hold it,
you're licking
and then you lick
plastic.
plastic. Yeah, but that's the safest
So
way.
the saran wrap is something they use, I think, in what was it, booty
actually,
call?
no. Saran,
People might have seen that.
Saran wrap actually would be what we would call a safer sex practice or a risk reduction practice. Now, it's like what you can use if you don't have a dental dam. You can also break down a condom to do the same thing as a dental dam.
Okay.
But it's one-time use, and I think that the reason people don't use it is because we're not teaching them to use it. Now, when it comes to sex ed programming in schools, oftentimes it revolves around pregnancy prevention and HIV risk reduction. So, but what if I'm girl on girl? I'm not even paying attention to pregnancy prevention because I ain't getting nobody
Because you're
pregnant.
not getting
I'm
no
bumping
one pregnant,
pussies.
right?
Right.
But I think that we need to be more holistic. So for me, what I focus on is being a holistic sex educator, a pleasure positive sex educator, and somebody who teaches about sexuality across the lifespan. Because my statement always is from the womb to the tomb, honey. Sexuality is a part of your life.
Because I know I'm getting fucked in.
All right. Oh,
Hello.
bitch.
All of my Social Security money.
I'm probably
Get
gonna
it.
die.
Actually,
I'm probably gonna die while having sex.
I
love
hope you
to
do.
die from
That would be
sex.
awesome.
You would like to die from sex?
What a way to
Okay,
go.
at
I mean,
90,
if
at
I
like 90 or
I'm
95.
gonna die regardless. So would I like
You're
it to
gonna
be
need
from
lube.
cancer or sex? Oh, fuck the shit
Sex.
out of me till I get a
But
heart
not,
attack.
but not anything that comes from sex. Like I want to die while actually being penetrated.
yeah.
You want to have a
That's-
natural death.
a
while
natural
I'm
fucking.
gonna be
death while
honest.
being fucked.
I haven't lived that much life, but if I died like that tomorrow, I'd be all right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know
But-
what? Our listeners would be proud.
But here's the interesting thing. So if you look at AARP statistics, we have seen in like the last 10 years a huge spike in STIs among people who are of the AARP community.
I was
Because
gonna say, why is she bringing up AARP?
because there's a huge spike in HIV and STI rates in that community because one, the women have already gone through menopause, so they're like, oh, I
Right.
can't get pregnant. I don't need no condoms.
Can you give the listeners an AARP age gap, like or
I
range?
want to
excuse
say
me.
you're looking at. I'm thinking postmenopausal, so probably like 50 and up.
Okay.
And then additionally, with the introduction of things like Viagra, men can still get an
Oh,
erection.
They be trying to fuck.
like,
right.
right.
I don't know about this. I don't
And
deal
and,
with
and the
those
thing
guys.
is this shit is spreading rampantly at your grandma's nursing home. So you need to
Oh,
talk to your
shit.
grandma.
And tell
My
her
grandma
about
just
protecting
told me
herself.
she got her
Tell her
nails
to wrap
done
it
from the
up.
nurse last night, and I want to be like, and what else?
Right. But I'd be like, why you getting your nails done, Grandma? Who you trying to impress?
I don't know. She said they
wants
do
her
nice.
nails to look nice while she gives a nice blowjob too.
Or a
Oh
hand
my
job.
God! Just stop talking about my.
Not
I
your
mean, you like
grandma.
talk
We're
shit about
talking
my
about
mom,
all
but my
grandmas.
You think your grandma gives head?
Now?
She might listen. here's the
Listen, my
thing.
grandma loved to tell
Apparently-
me how
no.
she fucked Sam Cooke.
I was about to say
She loved to tell
I
that
hate
story.
you so much, but not.
She'd be like, I had him.
But not
Your
only
grandma
that.
was an op
I'm
before
sure-
ops existed.
Listen, it's
I love
it's
it.
a generation. It's a lean.
And I'm
lineage
sure that
thing.
their head is better than ours. There's no teeth most of the time, right?
I can't with
Okay.
that one.
Okay.
Anyway,
I mean,
Okay. I mean, I'm just saying.
but I think that the point is
No teeth.
is that I think the point is that we never stop being sexual beings,
Mhm.
right? And as a society, we sometimes shame people for wanting to continue to be sexual beings
Right.
beyond a certain age. Like we think that sex is only allowed during your procreation or teenage age. You know, I tell a lot of my young people, I'm like, yo, y'all out here catching bodies, but really y'all just bumping uglies. Because your sex is not going to be as good
Right.
as it is when you're my age and you've lived a little and you have your own space and you're comfortable with your body. Because, you know, I have a long history of working with adolescents that won't look at their genitals. And I'm like, if you're not looking at it, why you put things in it?
Oh,
That don't make no sense
what
to
is
me.
the youngest age that people can experience? Like, I mean, because you were saying like
The womb, because there you can actually see young boys masturbating in the womb, but to them,
No
stop,
way.
stop.
Hold on, now it's getting interesting.
Okay, listen.
Wait.
Don't act like you ain't never been on a playground and not seen a little girl standing above the little water fountain. You don't.
I've seen little boys touch
I used to
themselves
hump,
at that age.
I tell a story about humping a teddy bear when I was young.
Right, I humped the edge of the bed.
But here's the thing.
But in the womb, bitch.
In the womb, bitch. Because what it is it feels good. They don't know it's sexual. We turn it into sexual. All they know is if they touch that space, it feels good. It's not sexual to little babies. That's why if you are a parent and your child is masturbating, do not shame them because you put them at risk. Because if you
For what?
shame them, they then think that what they're doing is bad, and then it's a little bit easier for a predator to come along and be like, oh, that feels good when you get touched there. Okay, let's not tell mommy and daddy. I'll keep your secret. So if you just explain to them, you know what? You can't do that at daycare. But if you're in your room and you're by yourself, I understand that feels good and that's okay. But nobody else should touch you there.
Right.
And if someone does, you need to come and tell mommy or daddy.
So one of my friends'
like
funny
that.
stories, she has been talking about to me, her daughter's around the age of like 10 or 11. And she's like, girl, she came home and like I accidentally caught her masturbating and I'm so embarrassed. But I told her like, hey, it's okay.
Totally normal.
She said, she said that I asked her, where did it come from, blah, blah. And she was like, I don't know. It just feels like a release. So she says, you know what? You can be open and honest with me. She calls me a few weeks later and she goes, bitch, you know what this little motherfucker said? I said, what'd she say? She said, her and I got an argument. She goes, I need to go and lock my door because I need a release.
Well, there
Oh,
it is. She said, I need a timeout. I need to rub one out because you getting on my damn nerves,
I know
mom.
that's
Dude,
But the
I-
thing is
hilarious.
that's such a beautiful thing that her daughter thinks she can tell her that because
And she knows it, yeah.
and the thing is that is a young woman because there are studies that show if young people masturbate, it can prolong abstinence. Why go out and get it somewhere else when you can get your release
Because
by
a lot
yourself?
of people feel like I think it's just a myth maybe that if you start masturbating, then you're super ready for sex.
No, it's
Right.
not. No, the research
That's why I
shows
was trying
us.
to hold out because I knew I was gonna like it too much.
Yeah, but you can do it on your own.
I held out for 16 years.
Do it
That's a
on
long
your
time.
own at your house by yourself.
You're right.
I ain't gonna lie. I love masturbating when I'm with someone, when I'm not with someone. But like sometimes I just think to myself, do I want to use this vibrator or do I want to get on that train? What do I want to do? And sometimes sex can be a lot of work. I love masturbating.
Yeah, I masturbate every single night.
We had an episode you probably would have appreciated it. It actually was on our bonus episode. Our kink of the week was mutual masturbation, and
I love it.
we talked about using that as a way of having safe sex, like if there's
It
no
is.
condom available, things like that, and how hot it can be. Can you maybe, because this was on a episode that was paid for people, can you maybe talk about the different ways that people can do that to prevent?
Well,
STDs?
no, I think what they should do is become a patron and go hear what we talked about because I have a
Get
whole
your
thing.
money.
I have a whole thing for Kink of the Week. So, guys, if you want to hear that
I mean, we can
episode,
still teach.
if you would like to hear that episode, please become a patron. You can become a patron at patreon.com/ horrible decisions because that
God.
is content for our patrons.
So you can get that money.
You know,
Okay.
I do have a kink of the week to talk to you about, and we're going to bring that in real quick before we get into our sex toy talk. But the kink of the week for this week, and I brought it up because we was talking about it on our Instagram Live.
Yes.
I wanted to bring up, we've talked about foot fetishes in the past.
Oh, God.
However, we came across, while looking at all these different porns, toe fucking.
Right.
And so I want to talk about, toe
I know
fucking.
about it.
So toe fucking, for those of you who don't know, of course there's the foot fetish where you can get fucked between 2 feet, blah, blah, blah. People just are aroused by feet. In this particular instance, it is shoving normally the big toe into, for a female, the vagina, and for
Or
a
the
male,
anus.
and for the male, the
And
ass.
anus.
You don't remember we talked about this with XD and Jade?
He said
A
that
lot
one
of my
his-
gays have told me that they like go down on a dude and a Toby right up their ass.
and a Toby there. So we talked about this on Instagram
Suddenly
Live.
the camera comes out. When
Right,
we talk
when
about
we
toe
talk
fucking.
about toe fucking.
Oh, all right.
My toes are in boots right now, but yeah.
I'll take one out.
You want to stick a toe?
Well, I
on
don't
the-
want to stick it. You know.
Well, don't stick it in my vagina.
Podcast place.
I know. Don't put the
Oh,
toe.
you mean
in-
like up your butt? I just got a
Don't put it
pedicure.
in my
You
butt.
should just take a picture, bitch.
Okay. Well, I mean, I just
All
want.
right, let's just try.
Look, you're gonna put it up. I just want to show, maybe since we have video, I want to show you guys the position.
All right, turn around.
I'm just gonna.
I've been
wait, I
waiting to
don't-
put
I
my
don't-
foot up your ass since
No,
we
you don't-
started
don't
this
put it
shit.
up my ass, but basically, guys, for you
Okay.
guys watching in the video.
So
Basically, you would maybe be laying down.
And you would just mount the toe?
Yeah,
Hold on,
I've
wait,
seen
wait,
that.
dude.
So I've seen that. Where the girl is
I cannot.
fucking.
I
no,
can't.
the girl.
Where
fucks
she's
the
I'm
toe.
so
she
mad
fucks-
right now.
Goes in on the toe. But
I-
normally
wait
it
a minute.
happens.
But
Listen, I
normally-
want to show you
I
one picture.
can't.
wants-
I
you wanna-
cannot.
okay,
I
do this.
cannot.
Wait, we're
Get on your knees, suck a dude's dick.
Okay,
I'm-
this
okay,
is
so I'm
too
on
much.
my-
So put your foot
I'm on my knees
in the
sucking-
pussy.
Why?
Oh,
Why?
it's great.
Why?
Okay, so this
Why?
is-
because
Why?
it's sexual education. You're here.
You're here. I
Why
should
are
say,
we
my God, my tit
talking?
came out.
I knew it was going to. I've been looking at your nipple all day.
Listen, cameraman, you gotta block. That's why we don't do cameras.
Listen, can we
'Cause I
go
have
back
titties.
to just
Naked?
talking about? I want to see this position just one more time.
Well,
The idea of
toe fucking.
riding a toe.
Well,
Listen,
Riding
I
a
can
toe.
see how it can happen. Let's say that you're not asking for a toe to be up your ass.
You have to ask because consent
you
is
don't.
key.
Like I'm just saying,
Oops.
let's not say that you're not like you don't
How
literally
did we
say.
agree to putting a toe up my ass?
Well, listen, it's just like when someone maybe puts their tongue closer to your asshole. Maybe we don't agree to it, but if I lean my ass more open, then you know.
You need to ask for consent if you finna put a toe in my ass.
I mean, I'm not big on feet.
Can I put my toe in your ass?
Hell no.
All right.
You
well,
know
what about
what?
yours?
No,
I don't
I don't
want
want
no
your
toes
toe in
Through
my
the
ass.
pants.
I don't even like toes. Okay, we're not kink shaming, by the
That's a
way,
good
guys.
one.
I
No,
wanted-
we're not. We're not.
I
We're not.
literally
To each
just.
his own.
I hate you so much. I literally just wanted to share this because I was watching. You guys know I watch gay porn, and so I was watching a porn. And that's what he did. He literally, while the guy was laid out on the bed, he
Gay
went.
porn.
Yeah, he
I
went.
wonder if it's a thing.
He went to the end of the bed and started riding the nigga's toe. And I was like, fast forward.
The girth is a
I'm
lot
not
smaller.
Interested. I'm not interested in toe fucking, but I
Honestly,
got
that's probably
interested.
all I could handle at my asshole.
Well. Then it came to me like, who's aroused by it? Is it the one riding the toe, or is it the guy looking at someone ride his toe? What?
I think
Psychologically,
it's
which
because
one
you know
is
it's
more
so dirty
aroused?
that you're like into it.
What? You know, we asked the people was really wanting to see that
no,
video.
They really were.
They were really
were.
interested
They
in
really,
this.
really
in this
were.
pussy.
They
More
were.
into the toe fucking. The person with the toe
in their ass,
yes.
or the person
The
whose toe
tower
is being
or the
fucked.
toey?
Yeah.
There we go. Damn.
I'm gonna go with the tower, the toey, the one
the
who got
one
it, like,
who's
yeah.
fuck
I
the
think
toe.
it's the tower.
Because
I think
we
'cause
gonna
it's
figure
if
this
it's up
out.
my ass and I feel the stimulation, then it's probably me who's getting all the pleasure.
Or I'm getting off on the power of towing someone.
Oh,
Bitch, I
see?
told you.
I told you.
Only one way to find
I
out.
told your ass. You guys get it?
Brings
Okay,
a whole
maybe
new
not.
meaning.
You know,
All right.
people always ask if me and Mandy have ever fucked, and like this is the closest we've been.
This is the closest we've been, bitch.
My toe was right in there.
Your
good
toe
to
was
go.
not. Did
I
you
felt
feel
the
the
clit.
warmth?
I'm so
got hot
sorry,
in
She
here.
Michelle.
caught the rainbow.
anyway,
Listen, we don't get along a lot, so this is like
This
a
is
new
really
level
good.
for us.
This
I mean, whether you get along or not, this is great, great podcasting.
Thank you. So what we're gonna do, a lot of our listeners have been asking us to talk about sex toys. Yes, girl, bring out the bag. And
Come
so,
on there.
Be careful for that. And so what happened is Wheezy constantly talks about her Wee Vibe. I am not a user of toys.
Thank you.
But we actually just got sent toys. Do you want to tell them who our toys are sent in from? And
Yeah,
we're gonna
so
try them out. And
we
then
didn't get to try this. It literally just appeared in my mailbox. But this is from a company called Naughty Vibes, KNOTTY_vibes on Instagram. It's a black company, which is why I said hell yeah.
black support.
We are.
Have these all been in your pussy?
No.
Oh, okay.
But I want to hope one of them has. Ooh, shit's getting serious. So the Naughty Vibe toys that we have here, they're vibrators. They
I
kind
hate
of
you right now.
are like the Lilo, I believe they're called, but they're a lot more affordable, like $33.99, $45.99.
That's the.
I was like,
I just want to let
what
you guys
is
know.
that?
Dude, I thought the
shit,
mics were fucked up, and I was like, you know what? This is our first time and last. Matthew. Whoa.
I'm just letting you guys know the vibration on these things is
Yeah,
pretty
they're
fucking
waterproof, G-spot stimulation, vibrating massager. But if you want to check them out, we're going to post them on our page. The coupon code is Horrible Decisions, and you get 5% off with free shipping and no minimum.
So we'll give you guys the information of that.
Yay.
But so a lot of our listeners are curious as to how to spice up the bedroom, or even when dealing with themselves with just solo masturbation.
Oh, let's do this one first.
Look, y'all know when Weezy get excited, she don't know how to act.
Sorry.
So basically, I want to talk about these different options that our male and female listeners can use, because even with the mutual masturbation, you can bring in toys to this.
Yeah.
So I guess this is the most basic one, and I guess we'll sit here and discuss this. So this is clearly a
Dildo with a suction cup.
with a suction cup.
So that is what we would consider a strap. Okay, so a couple things about this right here. One, don't get too close to my nails because it's time for a manicure. Okay, so one, this has a suction. The reason it has a suction, so if you're by yourself and you want to, you can put it on the wall or on the floor, and you can ride it. But you can also
Now, I just want to describe the texture for people that are listening and not watching, because I think only our patrons will be able to watch. But it's like a jelly consistency. It feels like
a hard dick, kind of. Except when you get fucked with these, let's be very honest, it does not feel like a dick.
It doesn't.
It be going in sideways. It be bending and shit. It makes
really
me mad.
doesn't. Which one has been inside of you?
None of them.
None of
I'm not a big toyer inside of me.
Okay, so we're gonna deal with
the butt
the
plugs.
inserted toys first. So
Okay,
we have the dildo with the suction, and then this is what? This is definitely a butt plug.
But
Okay.
guess what? Also a suction.
Also
Oh.
a suction.
So you
Okay.
want to just sit on it. You can.
I'm really into butt plugs, like, because I have a hard time with having anal sex. So like I like wearing the jeweled ones. And,
Oh
like,
my
it's just
gosh,
like
I want one with a ponytail.
That's
what
I
Lisa
hate
was
those.
talking
I
That is
hate
a
all of
fetish.
that
That's a
shit.
like pony play fetish. But
Oh.
so this is like a beginner dildo. The only reason there's stuff on it
How
because
many
it was in
inches
a
is it?
bag. Maybe
Let's say 3 inches.
I would
3
say
inches.
3.
Okay.
And they're generally very slim.
And
Anal,
very silicone.
and they start very, like, kind of the small at the top, just like a triangle, right, or a pyramid, right? They're like skinny at the top, and you work your way into the bigger girth.
This is like not a girthy one. This is a
Okay.
teeny tiny
Right,
girthy
right.
one, maybe. I don't know. It's a
Girthy.
great starter dildo.
And
Okay?
I also want to say, for people wanting to introduce this into the bedroom, these are also things that can be used with partners, with other people.
Oh, absolutely. I will recommend, one, you have to clean them. 2, I would advise using protection.
Condoms on it.
Yeah,
Yes,
condoms on
absolutely.
them.
Yeah.
Every time I
You
use
know,
toys,
I have
use
toy
condoms.
cleaner, but I still feel like I gotta use condoms. Even on my
No,
own
you
toys,
should.
like they're especially the jelly ones. They have a lot
Yes,
of lint.
this-
even
that's
though
why
in my
this
hand.
one has so much lint.
And it looks
because
so
of
fucking
silicone.
gross. And
Yeah.
so I just like, yeah.
But that's when you know they're silicone and like awesome. This
Okay,
is not
That's
silicone.
a prostate,
Yeah.
correct?
No,
Or
well, it's
no,
not.
that-
And it's I don't know why it's dirty because I haven't used it ever. But this one, it doesn't even turn on.
This
The
is
battery's
very
dead.
hard though. So
Yes, this is hard plastic. So this is the old school vibrators. So the thing about the old school vibrators is it is porous, so you cannot get it as clean as silicone.
oh,
Haha. And it requires batteries, so it's not like waterproof, so you can't like submerge it in boiling water.
I thought those were cleaner.
No, they're not.
Oh,
Silicone,
wow.
because this is hard plastic. Hard plastic is porous, so it can hold
Got it.
and trap. So that's why
Did not
most
know
of the
that.
toys that you see out there today, the quality ones, are silicone
Got it.
Okay.
because they clean easier.
Come on, quality.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, that's a clit. So this is not a toy.
No.
This is what your clit looks like, actually.
Hold the fuck
Can
up,
we get
bitch.
this? This is what
I've been looking at it for a few minutes, and I ain't.
You're like,
I was
"What
like,
is
is that a spider?
No, I had a 3D model of what our clits look like. So we only see this top part.
The top part, yes.
This is all that is exposed. Oh, I have it because it was buzzing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. So this is what the actual anatomy of a clit looks like. It's a lot larger than people think. It's like about 4 to 5 inches. So we only see this top part up here. However,
That's the part that we normally rub.
Yes. However,
Right.
if you go down the labia minora, so this kind of falls down like the labia minora, and this will, all of this needs to be stimulated. So it's
Now,
not
how come
just this.
I don't feel like my clit is this big, right? But
Well, once it gets engorged with blood,
so
it will
that's
start.
So,
I mean,
got it.
yeah,
This
it's
is-
gonna swell. But everybody's clit is different. Everybody's vulva is different. I don't like to just refer to it as a pussy or a vagina because vagina is the actual hole.
Right.
The vulva is all the
I
parts.
got very confused with that as a teenager because
Didn't we
I
all?
just thought it was my whole fucking thing.
Didn't we all? All right.
So
So,
it's
Now
funny because we have a question about that that I wanted to get from one of our listeners. Shout out to Melanin Milk. She actually said, "Is it safe? Is it unsafe, unhealthy, or not a good idea to masturbate with these vibrators daily?
okay.
Will my clit become
Desensitizing.
desensitized or only capable of being stimulated by vibrating sensation? I might be addicted to masturbating." So
I had to stop, and I
before
got a
we
vet.
get on to these other toys,
So
let's talk about maybe if it's a bad thing to use these toys too much. And like you mentioned, is it could your clit become desensitized from the vibrators?
It's not about your clit becoming desensitized. It's similar to the porn addiction situation. So, what we have to remember is that, orgasm starts in the brain. Like it starts and ends in the brain. So, the anticipation of pleasure starts in the brain. The actual orgasm ends in the brain. Now, if you are using a vibrator daily and you're starting to notice that while you're having intercourse with your partner, you're not able to achieve orgasm without a vibrator, you might want to take a break from your vibrator.
No, what happens there?
Well, what it is your brain gets used to the vibration sensation to get you to climax. And it's similarly to porn. There are a lot of men out there who experience not premature ejaculation, but premature erectile dysfunction. We usually see erectile dysfunction in older men. However, because of the excessive porn that people have access to, we are starting to see ED present in younger and younger men. And the reason why is because it is the porn that is it's starting in the brain. So they have to get more kind of wild porn and more kind of
Yeah, dude, that
outlier
happens to me.
type porn.
Now I can only
Yeah,
get
girl.
off on like.
Crazy porn. So I would say sit
Yeah, me
back,
too.
sit down
So
for
I think
30
I'm getting
days.
too
I had an
aroused
experience where,
of-
for the first time in a year, I was able to come without porn. I was so embarrassed.
Well, you done said it now. Girl.
My mom
Right.
gives me a tanning bed gift card, right? And I'm like, what the fuck is this for? She's like, I just feel like ever since the Winters game, you're getting real white. And, you know,
Happens to all of us.
you need to
Half-breeds.
come back. So I'm in the fucking tanning bed. I've never really been in one. And I just had all this alone time naked. And I'm like, there's a timer above me. And I'm looking at it. I'm like, 3 minutes. I'm like, okay, let's play this game with myself and see if I can do it. And it was so fun to get off without porn. Because porn is normally
And without
so
a
easy.
vibrator.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I have my phone right there. So of course I'm going to click on things. And sometimes I click on my own porns that I make because I relive that moment. But it was fun to just let my thoughts go. And I felt sexy. Like I was looking at my own body a lot. It was weird. God, that sounds so conceited.
It's not conceited. That's called self-love. And that revolves around your body image. And that's only going to help your sex with your partner. So to this person who's asking, if you feel like when you are having intercourse, you're struggling to achieve orgasm without a vibrator, lay off the vibrator for about 30 days.
Okay.
Like just go 30 days, no vibrator.
Yeah.
And go back to the original vibrator.
And
Your
she
fingers.
saw her
That's
10
all I
fingers.
use
She's
is my
got, you got
fingers.
10 dicks. But honestly, though, I haven't
Wait,
used,
who has 10 dicks?
it's a joke. Like your fingers.
Oh, I missed it. I was like, girl, I got 10 dicks.
I haven't used a vibrator since. And it's been like, I've been achieving stronger orgasms, I
Yep.
think.
Yep.
I'm coming not as quick, but it's also like, boop, like that's what they were
It's
before.
a good orgasm. So that would be my advice. Like if you're feeling like you are struggling to reach orgasm with a partner, but you're having no problem with a vibrator, lay off the vibrator.
Okay, and so
Okay.
I guess what I wanted to get into too, because I see after reading the instructions, this one is clearly
That's for men.
This is for men, and so I wanted to talk
It
briefly
looks
about.
like an EO slip balm.
It's-
I know, right?
it-
But
it
it's
says
really
egg.
a EOS
It's an
egg for your dick.
It's an egg.
It's
for your
a
dick.
pocket. It's a disposable pocket pussy.
It's a disposable pocket.
Yeah,
pussy.
and the lines.
Now, why do we need a disposable pocket pussy for men?
Well,
they
it's
don't
convenient.
need it, but it's convenient, and the
Okay.
same way that we have the lipstick vibrators or
Yes.
the small
How's it
ones that
work?
are
Can you
go
open it?
undetectable.
Does it
I
open?
don't want to, but I will.
Yeah, no, you
I
don't have
don't
to
want
open
to.
it.
I hold on
it's-
to
I
it.
see the
It's
unopened.
one use.
Yeah, it's one use. It's
How much is it?
Okay, so that's by Tanga, and I'm not sponsored by Tanga, but Tanga, if you're listening, feel free to send me more
Yeah.
because you can buy them. They're about $7.50 a piece, or you
Okay.
can buy them in an egg carton of a half a dozen, and
That's
each
hilarious.
Yo, it's great because see the lines on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
That's the ribbing. So each egg will have a different ribbing, and these lines is
Yeah,
what the
right
ribbing
here.
is.
That's
there's
awesome.
there's grooves and curves in
Yes,
pussy.
yes,
And so it actually says it's super stretch sensations for men.
Easy
Silky,
BA.
silky smooth satisfaction, and lubricant is included.
yes, it's all one. It's
All
all.
inside
I
of
will
this
be
egg.
honest
That's
with you. I totally used that as mutual masturbation. I used it on a partner. I busted straight through this little thing. The dick just went right through it. I was there like, meh, 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 pop. It was sorry. But Tanga, I love the product. Please send me more. But yeah, and I think it's like $40 for a 6-pack.
That's cheap.
Yeah.
But again, for me, working in sex ed, I'm not allowed to give these out in school, but if I could, I would. Because that's another part of the problem with sex ed. You know, I have a lot of young people who are sexually active. I want to encourage them to be masturbating, but how do I get them products?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, how do
Absolutely.
you get, because legally you can't go into a sex toy shop under 18, which I understand because sometimes there are creepy people in there.
Yeah, of course.
I get it. And I'm not saying people who go to sex toy shops are creepy because I go to them. But I'm saying it's not an environment that I would
You
want.
never know.
But I would love a way to get young people like my first vibrator or my first masturbation kit because I think it's important and it's healthy.
Right.
Not just mentally, but also physically. It reduces risks of STIs and you can really get in touch with your body and
Or relieve stress, like my friend's kid.
relieve
Yeah.
stress, sleep better at night. I mean, there's all kinds of benefits. So that's Tanga.
You
okay.
see what I have in my hand? And
Yeah.
I just
Oh
want
my
to
This
ask
will be
God.
one of the last
Oh
ones.
my
I
God.
want to talk
I'm
about
very
the effects
curious
of it.
as to
That's definitely
how
a
you have
clit
never used
suctioner or
this,
something.
because I know this is one of the most expensive and talked about and raved about vibrators. My friend,
I didn't say I didn't use it. You just asked me what has been inside me.
Oh,
Oh,
that
well,
goes on
good.
the outside.
Yeah,
This-
you can turn it on.
I'm excited.
Have you ever seen one of these?
I've seen
I've-
them. I know
it-
what
Oh,
they
it's
are.
dead.
I've got
It
friends
looks
that
like
use
a blow
them,
dryer.
but I
It's
never
dead.
have had one myself.
It's dead as nails.
but I know that my ex-girlfriend stopped fucking with me because of it.
Oh my gosh. So the womanizer again.
Is it called the womanizer?
Yes,
Yes.
I am not sponsored by them.
I
but
almost started singing it. Have you never
Womanizer-
heard about it?
No, I
Womanizer
never
shot
heard.
me out.
Guaranteed orgasm.
Like in
I've
2
never heard-
minutes. First time
An
I tried
orgasm
it.
in 2 minutes. So, ladies,
First
it's-
time I
it
tried
kind of
And
looks
look,
like a
you
nail
can,
dryer
You just
almost,
take this off
and
and
clean
you
that.
wash this, and it comes with like 2 extra. But it's expensive. It's like $200.
yeah.
But they have made some cheaper ones. They've have made some more affordable
And now
ones.
people are starting to make suction cup vibrators like the
Oh God, the
Womanizer.
rip off of the Womanizer. But thank you, Womanizer, for creating this. So what this uses is an air pulse technology. So it sucks and blows very quickly.
Oh, on your clit.
And so what you do is you kind of put your clit in the little hole, and if you're pierced, this might not be the best for you.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
you know, it's not it can be a problem if you're pierced. So you need to read the instructions. But who reads vibrator
Sex toy
ins-
instructions.
I do.
I'll whip it out.
And figure it out.
I read sex
Me
toy
and Mandy were
instructions.
just playing with the ones that were sent to us. I didn't know how to turn it off. I was like,
Yeah,
it had
that's
a-
let me be honest with you. I love all these new sex toys, but and I love Lilo. This is a Lilo product. But there's so many goddamn settings and different
There
vibes.
are,
It's
there
like
are.
I can't. This is way too much.
I hate that I have to click. I don't
And
remember
I don't
which
know
one
how to
is like
turn
the
it
water
on.
wave.
I don't know how to turn it off. Here's another one from Lilo that I really like.
Oh, wow.
This one.
Are you getting
These are
sent these?
very
You're buying
pretty
Because I
sex
know how much
toys.
Lilo shit costs.
I don't. I have not bought these.
Okay.
I've been blessed. I got you know.
Bitch, what the fuck are we doing?
we
I mean,
doing
you can
something
get them.
wrong.
I'll give you some numbers. I'll help you
I was
out.
about to say, we doing
Oh, this
something
is my
wrong.
favorite. Look at this one.
Oh my god.
So
Oh,
and this-
that looks Wait, we need a close
So
up
the
on this.
thing is
How do you
with
do
this one, if you notice when I take my hand off, it lightens because it's pressure sensitive.
oh my.
So the more you put it on your skin, the more.
Now, why
it's-
is it shaped like this? Is it
Oh,
so you
it's
can hold it?
ergonomically correct for us bitches with arthritis.
I hate you so much.
And I have, I'm not young, and I do have some like arthritis problems. But
And then you just hold that down.
So you don't have to like move your hand kind of weird, but put
Got
your
it.
hand in it.
Yeah, that gets pretty strong.
Oh my God.
See, and I'm
it's
scared of how strong
amazing.
a lot of these vibrators
Bitch,
get.
I ain't.
I didn't even bring my strongest vibrator. I did not.
Oh,
cut-
Is it plug into the wall?
Actually, I had that one, and then it exploded in my bed, and I set my hair on fire. So I
Bitch, how much? Are you rich now?
Right. Bitch, did you see
that
that?
Hitachi 3000, yo, that shit.
Listen.
It
I
blew
wish
a
this
fuse
woman
in
had
my
to work because
apartment.
I'd ask you to borrow it.
That's
That
crazy.
Hitachi 3000 blew a fuse, and I wasn't even using it, but my vibrators sleep under my pillow, and you know the
Who
vibrator.
doesn't?
So,
And-
so
and, yeah.
ladies,
Niggas sleep with a gun. I sleep with my
ladies,
dildo.
men, these
Right.
are like some of the things that you guys can use.
You have like high
Again,
and low.
you know, and they range from all different price points,
You have
all
a
the way from
flog.
$7. Yeah, the flogging, we talked about that
The
with King
ropes-
Noir.
Now this Japanese style rope I haven't been able to use it because anybody I hand it to can't figure out how to.
Oh
tie
my
me
God.
up.
Yeah, so this is the thing. So I subscribe to a lot of it's
Right. It's
so
It's
strong.
strong.
Turn it off.
That's the one that was given to us from
Turn it off.
Naughty Vibes. Yeah.
yeah, you
Um,
gotta just hold, I think.
Oh, so the thing is, I subscribe to sex toy boxes, which, you know, I'm working on creating my own.
Girl,
so in the
so
future,
don't even promo them.
Yeah.
oh, I'm not. I didn't. You know, I didn't say their name, but I've been subscribing to sex toy boxes to see what's missing in the market for us.
What do you feel? Is there anything that you feel currently is missing for us?
Yeah, I definitely do. I think
And I'm
that.
gonna shut the fuck up. That's what
Yeah,
she felt
like we'll get there because I get them monthly,
Okay.
and like, you know, I'm getting toys in a rate that I'm like, bitch, I can't even use all this. Like, and furthermore, who am I using this with?
So let me ask you, speaking of that, as far as who are you using it with, for our listeners who want to maybe introduce these things into the bedroom, do you have a way of maybe they could talk to their partner? Because a lot of men do feel insecure when you bring
Totally.
these things into the bedroom.
Totally.
And we have a lot of male listeners. So is there a psyche that you could let them know that this is okay? It's not that their dick is inadequate.
It's just
How
spicing
can
it
how can
up.
you bring this, you know, what would you suggest as far as a way for men and women to bring these, to use these things together?
So I think what men need to understand is the anatomy of a woman, right?
Mhm.
I'm
So
all sexpert.
when it comes to the anatomy of a woman, what you have to understand is that all of the pleasure sensors is in the clitoris.
Okay.
And I get so sick of men saying, "Ooh, baby girl, I'm finna blow that back out." Well, I ain't got no fucking pleasure sensors back there. It's just my
right, it's
cervix.
not in my back.
But I
and-
mean, we enjoy it.
I mean,
do.
you
But
can have
I
a
think that's from the-
cervical
I think
orgasm.
that's from the pain, though, right?
You can have
I
a
like that
cervical
pain.
orgasm, but the majority of your orgasms are going to come from your clitoris. So when you think about that, what you have to remember is that the clitoris needs stimulation, and most women will not orgasm without clitoral stimulation. So we love the D, you know, or we love your fingers if you're not having penis vagina sex, you're having dildo, whatever.
Right.
We really enjoy the penetration, but we're really going to get off with penetration in combination.
And sometimes you rubbing that clit for
Yes.
the all of 3 seconds that you do it isn't
Yes,
going to cut it.
that-
I'm so
exactly.
tired of that fuck-
And you
I-
ain't got
right,
no.
they just-
And the worst
just
part
rub
is
it.
they be rubbing it. You be like, this is not in no kind of order.
It
It's
doesn't
not
feel
organized.
like how I rub it,
It's
right.
not.
I
it's-
like telling women to do it themselves if they need to get off. Like,
I love it. I think it's
I
great.
normally
think
rub
it's
my own
hot.
But
clit.
I
Yeah.
understand, like, I've been
Sometimes I
with
get-
men who are like, oh, well, you only got off because of the vibrator. And it's like, God, no, I got off because you're a hot, sexy person. And the vibrator just heightened that or intensified that
Right.
or made that happen quicker. You know, I think that we need to be more open. In communities of color, we do not explore kink enough.
why you
We
think
know.
you got this show bitch?
Hello, bitch.
On a socioeconomic level.
But funny enough that you would say that, because when it comes to opportunities to explore kink, it can be a very intimidating and also kind of, I don't want nobody saying they made you sick, but like I have explored sex parties. I've been to sex parties, and kind of the hottest,
So much
the
fun.
the hottest sex parties
right.
are not.
They're white.
Yes,
I
and
went
then
to a
when
black
you
one,
show,
so I got lucky my first time.
great, and then when you show up,
I've never even been invited to. I've been
Any.
invited to like someone that was throwing something that I knew was black. I might be more black people there, but no. I mean, I went to one called Chemistry, which is like the known and talked about one all over New
Right,
York. But
right.
I saw 2 black girls there, and I was like, oh, hey.
Hey, girl, hey.
What's
I mean,
up?
I went to one in LA a few years back, and I went because a friend of mine had gotten tickets and was like, I can't go without a girl.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of them. A lot of them. You need.
Yeah.
A
Will
girl.
you be my date? And I went, and there was like 5 black people total, and it was a weekend event, so it was a huge event. They'd like rented a
But
floor at a
I
hotel.
don't really even think black people aren't being invited because people would love to do
well,
this.
socioeconomically, we are priced out of that shit.
That shit
And-
is expensive as fuck.
So take that socioeconomic bullshit and apply it to sex parties, okay,
well,
ho?
the one I
Because-
went to was $20 for girls.
Okay, probably
Well,
not the sex party.
I don't
I'm
know if
trying
I
to
wanna
to.
go.
Yeah, like,
It was
I'm on the
fun, y'all.
that's like that one
it was
in
a
Atlanta.
Halloween
that
party.
went-
I hate to say
trapeze.
this, but
Okay, so it was like a
I want the
trapeze.
elite peeps, whoever that means.
but the thing is,
And
so
blacks
I
are
went,
in
and
there.
this was at like
They
in a
can be.
Beverly Hills hotel. It was at the SLS. They'd rented out a floor.
Got you.
It was a weekend event. They had multiple events going on. But what was interesting was my friends and I that had gotten these tickets, because it was 2 guys and I brought a friend, and we really actually had no sex. We just were going because
Same
male
with me, yeah.
Right.
the male counterparts had never been to one, and they were like, yo, we can't get in without a girl. Will you go? And do you know, these motherfuckers tried to not let us in the room. We was knocking on the hotel door that the after party was at, and they were like, it's closed. And it was like, no, here's our fucking wristbands.
Wait,
Let
because
us
y'all
in.
because y'all
Yes.
were black.
Yes.
Really?
No way.
Oh wow.
I'm trying to tell you, like, and I have in my work, I've organized some SAR trainings, which a SAR training is sexual attitudes reassignment or reassessment kind of thing. And it's like a very intense 30-hour training for you to like go through to like really remove all your questions and like your implicit bias around sex and sexuality and sexual activity. And so there was a panel of speakers of like sex party promoters and like people who are poly and
Right.
people who do this. The whole panel was Caucasian, and you know, it got brought up that those spaces are not always
Inclusive.
accessible to people of color or inclusive, because usually it's
listen.
$150 to get in, and then if you have kids, like you have to pay for babysitting, and like
It ain't even about the price.
I mean,
Oh, I'm like,
even,
bitch, what they got?
well, even with the white, I don't want to say the white people, but even when I try to watch, can I say white porn or Caucasian porn? I don't want
love
to.
white porn.
I don't want to be offensive.
I don't like
But
white
see,
porn.
white
I
porn
do
to me,
white
but see,
porn.
white porn to me is so
You
funny
do?
because it's completely.
Me too.
It's different. Their strokes aren't the same on there. It's different than black sex.
But
Black
there's a
sex
reason
is
why.
different.
You have to. There is a guy named Bobby. What is his name? He writes for Playboy. He's out of Canada,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like Bobby something. But I just want to say that he does he did this whole expose on Twitter about, and wrote for Playboy about the racism and the oppression in porn. And you have to understand, black people are treated badly in porn.
In
Bro,
porn, yeah.
has it not made you like when I've watched Ghetto Gaggers? I've been
What the fuck is ghetto gagger?
So
Ghetto-
you've
I'm
heard of it,
so-
right?
I
Yeah, I've watched
cannot.
Ghetto
So
Gaggers.
like if I want to look up like a hardcore blowjobs or something like that, they have
like
this one called
disrespect the fuck
Latina
out these
abuse
bitches.
and Ghetto
can't.
Gaggers,
I
and like
cannot.
I can't get all like it.
It's
I-
literally like the girls are crying. They look
and
like
then
they're
like
choked.
the
They're
first
being
thing
choked.
is like,
They're
of
just-
course you fucking black whore. Like
yeah, it's really, really, really intense.
I was okay with horror.
She didn't have to be a black one.
Honestly, it makes me feel weird. I actually get kind of weirded out when I watch cuckolding porn, and it's very hard to find without a black guy fucking someone's
But
wife.
you have to
White, yeah.
understand.
And then when
no.
they say it, it's like I can't. That's why when you say BBC,
I love BBC.
I cannot hear
Who
someone say
doesn't?
black
Give
in
me
porn.
a BBC. I don't
listen.
give
It doesn't have to do with black.
I ain't here
being
to
black
judge
cock. It
nobody.
has to do
Black
with
cock.
hearing the word during sex.
Cock.
Cock is already.
I don't say, "Oh my God, give me
I
your
know you
BBC
don't.
during sex."
But a lot of
when I
people say
type
you're big
in-
black cock. And
I
it-
don't-
But you have to hold on. I just need to stop this whole conversation. I need to shut this shit down real quick, and I need to fucking school all you hoes.
Give
Okay.
it to us.
Oh,
So what we have to come to understand is the hypersexualization of black men is so fucking real, and the white supremacy that is rooted in. We have fucking bamboozled ourselves into believing that is a fucking badge of honor that black men should wear. Let me tell you something, black men that are listening.
I
When
wasn't going
bitches
there.
try to come to you like, ooh, baby, I want to fuck, they trying to fuck because they think you have a fucking mandingo.
Right.
And
That
a lot of y'all
is
do
where
not.
cock holding comes from. It is an
Sure.
oppressive act that comes from slavery. I don't give a shit who you are as a black man. When bitches of other races are trying to fuck, they think that's because you have a mandingo dick. Not to mention, I could really get on an Angela Davis tip right now. Come on now, Michelle.
Come on, read part
Come on.
2.
I mean, Jesus. We
Okay.
we-
Just tell
So
herself
is
to
Is
come
y'all-
this
on.
episode called The Read?
Hold on.
Jesus.
Y'all need to read the ISIS Papers. The ISIS Papers is by Dr. Frances Cress Welding. She's
That's
incredibly
what Nipsey Hussle was talking about when he was like,
because
Let's
you
not-
know,
let's not
great.
talk about the
Listen,
Nipsey.
so one of the things in
annoyed
her
me.
book she
Me
points
too.
out is, and I've taught this to my students.
okay,
Think about what the gun looks like. Think about it.
right.
It's a phallic object.
Mm-hmm.
Literally. I'm not joking. Think about the trigger
That's
Okay.
that's
and think about. Hold on, though.
Okay,
And what color is most guns?
black.
And what does it shoot out? Bullets that kill. So think about this.
okay.
What do black penises shoot out? Bullets that can create life. Yet black men are given guns all the time to kill each other because white men are they super fetishize black dick.
Yeah.
Because if black men start shooting sperm into all races of women, we continue to expand the black race. And that
that is crazy.
threatens white supremacy.
got
This shit went
real
from
deep.
horrible decisions
Holy
to
shit! Both episodes.
Shaka Zulu.
I feel
I'm
like
trying to
God
tell you.
damn.
This is okay, so I guess I'm saying all that to say
no, but
like I
You're right,
am
you're right.
I am a unapologetic radical sexologist
holistic.
who wants people to
Holistic
really
is what we are.
you guys is holistic. I'm
Holistic.
holistic. But the idea is that we need to start really recognizing how we are being hypersexualized.
so how do you feel about that term then, BBC? Because the reason
that is a term that was probably created by a white man and white supremacy. Big black
Bitch, you
cock.
don't get
Let's
out my
be
face
real.
hole.
Let's be real.
well, no,
There's big
listen,
white
I've,
cock.
I've had a lot of. I mean, I've
Who
seen
looks up? Who looks up BWC though?
That's not,
they're just
it's
the ones
not
that
a
are in there.
thing.
But no, I mean, I've had a lot of my friends tell me how uncomfortable, the black gay ones especially, when they're found by some men that are on the DL and writing them like, I want your
Because they
BBC.
want that big black cock.
And they
but
tell
what if
me
you don't
like,
have
oh
a
my
big
God.
black cock?
Vinny told me once, he was like, bitch, I went straight soft fucking this white man.
Because he said some dumb shit like
He's
that.
like, talking about my big black cock. And I was like, okay, I know it's big, bitch. Like, just
I
like,
hate all of you.
but
you can hate all of us, but
don't get me wrong.
No, it makes sense. It makes sense.
and I feel like I went off on a tangent, and it's like so diverted from like me doing what I do.
Michelle.
But
She-
the thing
I'm telling you,
is,
this is the read 2.0.
the
Goddamn.
thing is that
Can I also just say one other funny fact? We normally record out of other studios where black people are recording, and I feel so bad for you, Matthew, because there's normally not someone white here. But you know, we're in New York, you've got tattoos. It's like, fine. Like,
But so I guess to wrap up the show, I wanted to read off one of our home mails. We got so many actually in the last month. I'm so sorry.
maybe
we're gonna
we
have
can
to.
do a whole episode.
Yeah,
Let us
we're
know
gonna-
how
no,
y'all
what
feel
you
about
can
that.
do is
But this
let me
one
tell you
is
what
a
you
good
can
one.
do.
Oh,
Hold on, I just want to
School
plug.
us again.
No, I'm not schooling you, but you guys do know that I do O.School, which is
Yes.
adult sex ed at night. I do Tuesdays, Fridays, which I'm missing tonight for you too.
Sorry.
But O.School is a pleasure positive platform that does pleasure coaching, sex education for adults, live streaming.
It's really good.
You just log
tuned
on,
in.
whatever. So you can send me all your hoe questions, and I can start answering them on
Great.
behalf of
We've been-
you
people have
guys
been wanting
on
that for
Friday
Dr. M.
nights.
Yeah.
That would be
And
great.
then I'll just tag you guys, and I'll promote you guys.
Look
and
at this
then-
little cross promo. Can we turn this? Thank
okay,
you.
so guys, again, if you guys want to send us your home mail, you can email us at horribledecisions@gmail.com, or Instagram finally made a little feature where we could star your DMs. So you're more than
They've
welcome
had
to
it for a
go ahead
while.
and fill. Yeah, I just noticed it today. So you're more than welcome to go ahead and continue sending your home mail as well to our DMs. So I'm going to read this off. This is the only one we're going to get off today, but I think that it's super good. Mind you, she uses the term virgin in quotes every time, so I assume she's not really one. I absolutely love you both, together, individually, with guests, without love. I am 24 years old, virgin, who listens to the pod. I'm also a cis, straight, I think, black woman who has never had penetrative intercourse, neither
sorry.
vaginal nor anal. Okay, so maybe she just be sucking dick. That's why she not virgin. But I have messed around with a handful of guys. Literally, I can count the number on one hand. Despite my lack of experience, I have found myself interested in and exploring kink, specifically BDSM, and more specifically DDLG, or Daddy Dom / Little Girl.
Ooh, I like that. Power play.
This is not incest play, nor is it pedophilia, but I know you both are the last people I need to say to this. I consider myself a middle, so I enjoy taking on the role.
Top and bottom.
She said, yeah,
I was just going to say that.
I enjoy taking
She's
on
switching.
the role of a bratty teen / schoolgirl in the presence of a caregiver or a daddy dom. Your interview with Lisa Spliffson was perfectly timed.
Oh, hilarious.
Because I recently made a FetLife account to try and interact more with the DDLG community and figure out if I really want to pursue it. I was wondering what your opinions were on a virgin exploring her sexuality through kink instead of starting more vanilla. When did you guys start exploring outside of vanilla sex? And do you have any knowledge on CCLG?
First off, thank you for
yes,
acknowledging that was a good episode.
Yes.
Yes. And thank you also for being so honest and open and allowing yourself to disclose that you're into that. Again, I don't think that as Black people, we feel as free to talk about kink and desire.
Right.
And I want to tell everybody out there that's listening, it's totally normal, right? Like, I work in a space where, 9 to 5, I am at school. But I am still a sexual being, and I still look at sex and sexuality across this spectrum of what it is. And I think that it's healthy to have desire. I think it's healthy to have fantasy. I think it's healthy to have fetish play, whatever that is, whether it's towing, whether it's a switch, whether it's even race play,
Right.
whether it's,
Now,
but you have to be okay with that.
Mentioned that the race play maybe
No,
wouldn't
race
be
play
safe,
is huge,
but
you
consensual.
consent. You have to know what you're getting into because you don't want it to trigger something, right?
Right.
So
Right.
when it comes to being a switch, I think as long as you're happy with where you are and you're disclosing to your partners what you want, like, let's face it, all things are great things in sex. And I believe Kinsey himself said, the only abnormal sex act is that which you cannot humanly perform. I'm paraphrasing, but I think that's as close as it is. So I don't give a fuck what you do in your bedroom because it's not going to socioeconomically impact my life.
Can we name this
socioeconomical.
episode socioeconomic sex toys? Now,
well,
she did ask also, she said, what if I'm not having sex?
Well, that's the thing.
Can she
So
get into this
she's
if
a
she's
virgin.
not-
She has not been
But she
penetrated
can get
or
off by
anally.
spanking. She can get off.
And
because
Lisa
this-
said she doesn't have sex with
Right.
clients.
because it's, remember what I said, it starts in the brain. It's the brain.
Your
and
arousal.
it's
You get
power
aroused
and
from-
control.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not about the actual penetration. It's power, it's control, it's submissiveness. It's like
I think she
all
can
of these
absolutely get off.
things.
Actually, I want to also say, you mentioned the brain. We had a trans man on. And one of the questions Mandy asked him, a lot of people got offended by, but I feel like it was a valid question because sometimes we can't understand. She said, if you don't get penetrated, how do you come? How do you come if you don't get touched? And he was like, I can get off. Like, trust me, I get mine. And a lot of people were like, oh, that's bullshit, blah, blah, blah. But I really don't believe that the orgasm is something that needs to be a physical thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, obviously it's physical, but something that we experience on a physical level. I've came in my dreams and I wasn't touching myself.
Not only that, I think it's important for her to realize. So her specific question too was, what are our thoughts on starting off with kink instead of going the vanilla route? And what's funny is every guy that I speak to, their definition of freaky or kinky it's different. So there's such a large spectrum on where you could see kink or what's vanilla. Okay, we know vanilla is what missionary and doggy style. And
but vanilla is what, because to some
What it could-
people,
so-
chains and whips is vanilla.
right.
they're
That's what I'm
bloodline.
saying.
Honestly, I'm
That's what I'm
starting to
saying.
feel like spanking and choking is vanilla
It's
now.
very vanilla. And so with that question, I think she needs to realize that what she wants is not normal. And I think a lot of our listeners have to realize too, if
It's
you
not
want
the
some of
average
these
thing,
things, it's not the average thing. You might not hear people openly discuss it like they do penetration or sucking dick, or even licking ass has become kind of in the norm now. And so I think that our listeners and people who are new to listening to us need to realize that this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to open I guess, the gap a little bit more and let you guys know that none of this stuff is weird. We do come off by different things, and like you said, it's a psychological thing.
Yeah.
And so I think that is kind of our advice to you is
I'm
that
proud of
you don't
girl,
have to
for
worry about
exploring yourself and not feeling
I
weird
started
for being a
we started
virgin and-
exploring fairly early, but I think that had to do with porn and just dealing with older guys and again just kind of being comfortable with ourselves. So I guess this is gonna wrap up this great episode. I hope
was
you
a
guys
really good episode.
genuinely fucking enjoyed Michelle. We're
And
gonna
I hope you bitches bring me back.
listen. We're gonna bring you
I
back.
hope I'm some sort of regular on you ho show.
We gonna set that up. We're gonna
well,
set
we've
it up.
had 2 different sexpert experiences.
And it's
So-
right. Totally,
I'm the best.
totally different.
I got you off the best.
Hey. So where can our listeners find you, Michelle? We're going to put all this information in the description of the episode.
Absolutely. So you guys can find me on my website, www.mhsexpert.com. You can find me at o.school every Tuesday and Friday night.
What's O.School? Is that?
That's the website. That's the
That she
pleasure.
gets-
It's a website
Yes,
itself. Okay.
Yes. And you can totally like go there and learn a bunch about sex. It's amazing.
Great.
And then on all social media at MHSexpert. And then, again, I love these two whores and their decisions.
All of our
And,
decisions.
I really am here for the people.
Yes.
Like, I'm here to educate.
For all
I'm here to-
people, I want to say this.
and
is for
there's no
everyone.
socioeconomic standards to holler at me. Although mama needs to get some shmoney.
I know that's right.
Because sex ed is
$1
hard.
bill.
But you can
Right.
follow me. You can find me. And I just wrote
And
a
that's
new
awesome.
book. So
Oh yeah.
Congratulations.
We're gonna.
Thanks. It's a kid's book though, which is really not
That's dope as fuck.
Yeah, but we're gonna definitely let our listeners know this
Yes.
because for those who have kids, the way you talked about earlier, how to
Yep.
talk about it with your
Yep.
children, we're gonna make sure that we get that in there.
Another
And also,
day.
again, guys, if you have any questions that you feel we did not ask, please send them in because Michelle and I we talk damn near every day, goddamn now.
And I'm here for you.
And
Did she tell you that I was a villain too?
Yeah, actually, I did.
Oh, what?
I'm sure.
But yeah, if you guys have any further questions, me and Weezy are not sexperts. We just have a lot of sex. But we now have a sexpert that we're hoping we
On
can join
deck,
on. You know,
always.
she's on deck. So go ahead and send those questions in. And if you want it to be specific to Michelle, just go ahead and write that in the message, and I'll make sure I relay the message. Again, follow us on all social media accounts. And become patrons. We said it in the episode, but guys, if you guys want the full video of this so you guys can see all of
Yes.
the toys we
and
played
just some
with.
extra us.
Yes, please become a patron at patreon.com/horrible decisions. I'll post it on the page. Also, guys, you're gonna hear some voicemails that were left off through our number. We now have a number, guys, and I'm gonna post that. We want you guys to go ahead and drop us your home mail and just we gonna set that up for y'all.
Now, just to describe Patreon a little bit for you guys, we have 2 different tiers or 3 different tiers. We have a $2 tier where you can just support us. For $5, you get the video footage and the extra episodes per month. Our last few episodes, we had one about, oh my God, the one
lot
where we
of shit.
fought,
We
where the guy
fought.
that we used to fuck, we kind of just looked up his Facebook and saw what he's doing now. We had another one with a gay male escort, and then our sugar daddy episode where we kind of gave tips, where we've discussed our experiences, and where we took live calls. Oh my God, you remember that girl?
We took live calls. Yeah, so that's also something else we're gonna start to be implementing. But yeah,
our phone number, it is 845-419-3809. Again, that's 845-419-3809, and you can leave us a message
Yes.
with your home mail questions.
Yes, or just tell us how much you love us. Tell us how much you hate us. We want to we're going to be playing all of them. So thank you again, guys. This has been yet another episode of Horrible Decisions.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
Shit.
This is too long. We can't record this long ever again.
I am
Ever.
so sorry.
No,
But-
it's not you.
Well, no, and the thing is, we actually really started at 6 because we were waiting on her,
So
and we just went through.
Yeah, that bitch is fucking up my dick game because
I-
I got a nigga waiting on me. He's been waiting for 45
Well,
minutes.
I was told by